All right. All right. So next topic is our international players taking over the league. I feel like they've been cooking.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
For the past 5 years, you've had all 5 MVPs. Well, really, it's 4 MVPs. Jokic won twice. Well, Giannis won twice.
Giannis won.
Giannis won twice.
Giannis won twice. Jokic won twice, and Embiid won the last one. He's from Cameroon.
So there you go. The last 5 MVPs.
I'm trying to remember who was before that. Who was before? I usually know this by heart, but I don't.
What have you done for me lately?
I mean,
5 years. Is
5 years
more
of
than
Domas. That is crazy.
That's a whole different. I feel like game 5 years ago could have been.
Let's think about that, because actually, if I remember 5 years ago, that was Steph.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Steph's
believe
resurgence to dominance.
So that was his third MVP? Or
So
second?
he only got 2.
Second.
2. Because if I'm looking at the math right, no, I think that might have been, it was either Harden or Westbrook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was them triple-double times. But anyway.
The international players are taking over.
Yeah.
I mean, you can name some of the top 10 players in the NBA right now. At least 5 of them are international.
I think you can. So with Canada being international, I think we go. It's not an issue, but I think that's going to be a thing going forward, because you still have guys like Jamal Murray. That's
right.
Which we can have conversation of, where does he land? Does he land in that top 20, top 15? Now?
I think he's emerging.
I think the ACL threw him back.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like him and Donovan are in the kind of that same spot. You know what I mean? And then it's like, I feel like him, Donovan, and Book are in that same range. You know, great competitors.
You put Jamal Murray with Booker?
I feel like once you get championship and you perform in the finals, because he did perform.
He did.
So, I mean, we're used to Book putting up great numbers. I'm a Suns fan, diehard. Been a Suns fan for like 20 years at this point. But I keep it 100. When you look at the games, Book will explode for 40, give you about 2 or 3 games like that, but then he might go cold from backpacking.
Yeah.
So it was a real issue when Chris Paul was there. I don't know if it's going to be an issue going forward, because he can just share the ball more, and they got to figure out that dynamic. But when you look at the 2-man game for Jokic and Murray, it's going to make it's going to make Murray look way better. Not saying that than he is, but he's in a situation that makes his game look better.
Jokic is a facilitator.
Exactly. So it'd be different if you paired him next to Embiid. It'll look different because it's just they're in the perfect situation. I feel like if it's a duo you want to keep together, it's Jokic and Murray, because their 2-man game is impeccable. It's something that Shaq and Kobe really couldn't figure out, and it's a long-lasting game that you can keep, because it's handoffs. It's this way with it. You know what I mean? You can get it into the post with it, and then Jamal's game is how he just comes off those screens, those handoffs. He can just pick his spot. He's great at everything you want out of a point guard that scores. He's great at it.
Right.
So his game is highlighted playing next to Jokic, but at the same rate, they're both international players.
They are, and I think that Jamal Murray was snubbed last year, and I hope he makes an All-Star this year.
I don't remember everybody that was an All-Star.
A lot of people that shouldn't have been.
Because, excuse me, I don't remember the list. Because honestly, the All-Star game is diminishing, but it's just kind of something to watch now.
Yeah.
So I don't
like the Pro Bowl in the NFL.
Exactly. Like, it matters, but it doesn't. Right. You know what I mean? It's not really competitive. It's you watching it because it's basketball. But when you think about it, the All-Stars only really matter when you're talking about all-time greats. Jamal probably will never get to that level. But for him, I think it's better for him to be a champion than to him stacking All-Stars. Because you can look at Damian Lillard stacking All-Stars but no championships. Yeah.
You know, another international player that we're going to hear a lot about, and we're already hearing a lot about, is SGA.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna be phenomenal. I mean, he averaged 30 last year.
Bro, yeah, he consistently put up 36 points in every game he was playing, in every game that I saw. And I saw a couple of OKC games, and I was like, man, even when they knocked out my Pelicans in the play-in tournament,
it was easy.
I was like, this dude here is gonna be up next.
I think
if not already there.
I think he's arrived. I feel like that's what we were talking about last week with the Thunder's ascension. I feel like it's gonna be a time point where it's like, all right, I'm here.
Right.
It's similar to me. It's like it's always the team that takes the next step, which is like a Phoenix, which is like a Kings. It's always the next guy up, because when Phoenix took it, Chris Paul came there, but I think it was just a matter of timing. Right. The players were already there. They were developed. They just needed somebody to close. Because Book, he's great, but when you're backpacking, you don't have the energy to close, which is why some of his fourth quarter production is diminishing.
Right.
So a lot of people don't understand that. Like, they're playing 40 minutes because they don't have a bench, bro. Right. You're not going to be good in the fourth with that. They don't have that issue like that anymore.
Especially as you get older. And
stuff too, man. It's hard, bro. Like, and it's like we have appreciated the greatness of our local stars, like KD doing it, and you get accustomed to it. But now the international guys play so different, because if you look at Luka plays, he plays with his body.
Right.
You know what I mean? He plays very slow. A very unathletic game, but he throws his weight on you, and he'll, like, the spin move he does, like when he puts you in the post and spin off. Right. You're going that way, bro.
Just he's like Jokic. That moment. Jokic is so the same wonky way. And so unathletic, but he'll drop 40 on you in a minute.
The same way. I'm not saying that European basketball is the pinnacle of basketball, but when it comes to exploiting the fundamentals, they have that.
Right.
You know, but it's like over in America, it's flash. Right. We shooting threes. We doing a lot of uncharacteristic plays here, and I think that's
getting
why
away from the fundamentals.
Getting away from the fundamentals. That's why the mid-range shot isn't there. But the players that we named are international. They're using it. They can play at all three levels. Right. How many really consistent 3-level scorers do we have in America?
Kawhi when he's healthy.
But availability. I think Kawhi, PG, Steph can do it. Yeah. But Steph's is more, you're scared of him shooting them threes.
Right. So you want to drive him in. You want to make him score inside.
I think Kyrie,
which he can do.
It's Kyrie.
Yeah.
I think Kyrie is the best at all 3 levels. Like, if you look at a 3-level scorer, I would say it's KD, Book, Bill, Kyrie. And I would say skill-wise, I would
3 of them on the same team.
They on the same team.
Crazy.
Shout out to the squad. But I feel like when it's like when you look at Kyrie, his finishing is great because he can finish on either side of the basket with either hand.
Right.
But European players have floaters, Euro steps, work the post well. They played the game well.
The hype behind Victor Wembanyama too.
I mean, we'll see. Like I always have said, and I said last week, he's a project player. Don't expect him to be him out the gate. I don't expect LeBron production out of him. It's going to take him a minute to learn how to play the game at this level. They're more physical over here, and you can get away with a little more. He's going to be great defensively because
remember this, guys, when the Spurs become the 6th seed and then make it to the Western Conference Finals next year and beat the Suns.
I doubt it.
Remember he said that.
I doubt it. But I mean, like I said, it's going to take time.
Oh, I believe it.
Because I don't expect him to
be the team around him too.
Yeah, I mean, Porzingis was great his first year, but he had a slightly different game. He doesn't come off the dribble.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's spotted up a little more.
Now, if Victor gets a 3-point shot, it's a wrap.
I feel like he has it, but it's at the same time, you got to see how he loads up and how that changes. Because the skill gap between G League players and guys that are in the NBA, the game is faster.
Yeah.
So a load up where he can set and then release it, that's going to be more of what he's going to need. But are you going to have time and space to do that?
True.
No.
At 7'5", he can do anything.
He's not, because at 7'5", I'm not putting Devin Booker on you. You're going to see.
Well, who are you gonna put on?
Well, I'm not saying like that. I mean, you're gonna see Aiden most likely.
Put KD on.
No, you put Aiden on.
You're gonna put the worst defensive player in the
Doesn't matter. I don't need you to be great. I have 2 guys that are gonna clean up behind. Who's not gonna
play physical.
Doesn't matter. I'm not saying in terms of Suns, but I'm talking about like for players wise. You got to look at the bigs that are there, right? Joel Embiid is not letting you do that. Giannis is not letting you do that. Like what? Like,
Giannis not probably. Yeah,
no, you got to look at the quality of bigs. I feel like we're at a half and half mark now. I feel like superstar for superstar, our best players are starting to age out. International guys are starting to come into their own and they're running the game. But we're about 50-50 now. It's because the game is universal.
It is. It's wonderful to see. I'm excited about it.
I'm all for it.
You know, you're tired of seeing guys from California taking over the league, and
for sure, For sure. I mean, but I think we're going to get into a new space where the game is going to change.
Yeah.
I feel like what the Suns are going to do, they're going to make the mid-range more of a thing again because we're going to get back to fundamentals. It's going to be hell for most teams.
It's going to be interesting.
So
I'm excited to see it.
I feel like the worst nightmare, like we can just end the segment after this, is if Luka and Jokic decide to pull LeBron and D Wade. The worst nightmare.
I quit.
Like, bro, the passing to be OD.
Like, who are you going? Who's gonna beat them?
I mean, they can be beat, but it's like the IQ is high on both of those players. But like, just imagine if Jokic was like, "I'm done with this. I want to go live in Dallas and ride horses in Dallas." You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be crazy. But that's it for basketball for this week.
All right.
We'll have more topics next week.